It's December 15, 2000. I'm with Yoko Ono in the Dakota building in New York City. And hi, Yoko.
Hi, Orion.
First of all, let me bring you my regards from Bakha and Kärntruppen. It's so nice of you to let us have this exclusive interview for our Swedish edition of Grapefruit.
Well, it's my pleasure. I'm very glad that it's coming out there in Sweden.
Grapefruit is a book of instructions to the reader to do art.
Yes.
Would you say that anyone is capable of being an artist?
Of course, because we're all artists inside us. You know, some of us repressed ourselves, and so maybe we can't do it, or we feel that we can't do anything about it. But we have the side of us that we have not explored yet, all of us.
And now we're not talking about Mona Lisa, we're talking about conceptual art, experimental art.
Yes.
So what is, would you say, the essence of that type of art?
Well, I think in terms of my work as unfinished. And it should be finished. Maybe sometimes the instruction says that you have to finish it in your mind. So it will be finished in the minds of the spectators, or it should be finished by them actually physically being active. So for instance, there's a painting of mine that's called Add Color. And so somebody will add color to it then. You have the permission to add color to make it into a painting. And then some people would think, oh, I don't like this color, so I'm going to erase it, I'm going to put blue on it, you know, something like that. And it becomes like a color dialogue. It's very interesting. Yeah.
You have many instructions of the type, listen to clock strokes, or listen to heartbeats. It's like a sharpening of the senses.
It's true, yeah.
So it becomes something in your mind.
Well, you see, it's like focusing on something that you don't usually notice because you just got used to it or something like that.
And you have many instructions that are like anti-instructions, like impossible instructions, like draw a map to get lost. Or listen to the sound of the earth turning.
Well, you can. You see, that's another thing. We feel that we can't, and we can. In terms of draw a map that they can get lost, I think it's just usually when we draw a map, we think in terms of a map that we can follow. And so we make a simple map. But you may be able to make a map that is totally difficult to follow even. Not regarding what you're capable of. And by doing that, you might become more capable.
I think about when you have this, what I call anti-instructions, I think about Zen Buddhism. Like if you try to do something impossible, it will have a good effect on your mind. Relaxing.
See, the thing is, I don't think it's anti-instructions. You know why? It is to expand the horizon of your possibility, your capability. For instance, the human race have been doing that all the time. Somebody who composed music, sometimes a composer will create music that for violin that is almost impossible for the violinist to play. You need an incredible technique to play because he's been conceptual, you see. And in his concept, he hears these sounds, the composer hears these sounds that are almost impossible in reality. And then the violinist tries to play it. And actually, they start to play it. And that's the very interesting thing about it. you have a hurdle that's very high, and say, well, this hurdle you can't just jump over, you know. But then somebody jumps over it. And we see that actually we have possibilities in us, capabilities in us that we don't know. And so while we are not being conceptual and just being realistic, let's be realistic, let's be realistic. We can't do this, we can only do this, we're always sort of like limiting ourselves in our minds. But if you try to fly, first you can't because it's just in your concept. But then, that was a wish that the human race always had. Like saying, oh, the birds are flying, I wish we could fly. And so we created planes, airplanes, In other words, the concept, the wish, the thing that you project to the future actually becomes reality.
And speaking about the sky, I think it's a bit of a theme in your work.
Yes, it is.
And also in John Lennon's, we published the John Lennon book, Skywriting by Word of Mouth.
Yes.
And we have this line in the song Imagine there's no heaven, above us only sky.
Yes, yes.
And in Grapefruit, there are a lot of skies, like the sky machine. That is better than the Coke machine. It's in the corner of a street, but it produces nothing when you deposit a coin.
Oh, no, it produced a little card that says sky.
Okay.
That's very important.
Yes.
That's different from nothing.
Okay. And you have this instruction for a painting. Make a hole in the canvas and look at the sky through the hole.
Yes.
So the sky yes. Was it a symbol of, like, for life or the good things in life?
No, it's not a symbol of anything. Sky was part of my life, always, and it was a very important part of my life. And even when I was a young girl, during the war, Second World War, and everything was bombed out, and the whole city was not there anymore because it was burnt out, bombed out, But still, the sky was beautiful. The sky was beautiful and blue. And I always felt that whenever I have a very difficult time and I might get depressed or, whatever, I just look at the sky, and the sky is always beautiful. The sky is almost like my security blanket, all through my life.
And when you were a child, you collected skies.
Yes, yes.
And was there a time you talked about the Second World War and you fled from Tokyo?
Yes.
And you didn't have food?
No, there was a time when it was the food was getting scarce, and I was hungry. I was simply very hungry.
And you and your brother, you did imaginary menus.
Imaginary recipes, yes.
And maybe that was the start of this imaginative method.
I think so. I think that it was some kind of a way of survival. I started to realize that there's a way that I can survive. And it was very important. It was a very important and practical thing to do, to imagine.
Well, thank you.
May I say this, that there are many people who are depressed now because it's a very complex world, and people are feeling insecure, and violence is rampant in our societies. Each society is getting more and more tensed up and everything. And so I like to say, when you're depressed, do something that would make your heart dance once a day. And if you can't make your heart dance, even if you wanted to, then do something that would make somebody else's heart dance. And if you keep that up for a couple months, you will see that your life will change totally. And when I say do something to make your heart dance, I don't mean something that is extra special. You could just look up at the sky. Looking up is a very good movement, eye movement. And just look up at the sky and appreciate its beauty even. And when you want to make somebody else's heart dance, again, you don't have to do anything that's so special. Maybe just give a phone call or something, to somebody that would cherish it. Oh, you remembered me, that kind of thing. That's enough. And one day, let's all dance together.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you.
Now, I made a